is Darren Joseph from HEJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of having a great conversation with Michael and Nuno. Michael, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Darren. Good to be here. After a career in consulting in the international tax planning game, I'm now the founder of an investment platform in Portugal with some interesting golden visa qualifying investment products.
Fantastic. And Nuno?
As Michael was saying, thank you very much for the invitation to be here. I'm a tax partner at CMS, which is a Portuguese-based law firm, but present in 45 countries. We have been, and I've been very active in the private clients sector, mostly obviously in respect of taxes, but also touching upon golden visa, and that's why I've been working actively also with Michael in this sector.
Fantastic. The concept of a trust in a common law jurisdiction, understanding and appreciating Portugal as a civil law jurisdiction. How are trusts viewed and treated by the tax authorities in Portugal?
They're in Portuguese personal income tax rules don't even contain a specific regime for non-resident trusts. So the applicable tax treatment is determined based on the general tax principles, namely the taxation rules of the so-called fiduciary structures. So in a nutshell, typically distribution from a trust is treated as an investment income, and it's typically liable to tax in Portugal at the 28% rate. Again, if you are NHR 2.0, it would be deemed as an income coming from abroad, and you would be exempt from tax in Portugal. If you are a regular Portuguese tax resident, it would be typically liable to tax at the 28% rate. If you look at the other income that is generated by a fund, which derives from liquidation, revocation, or extinction of a trust, then you need to make a distinction between if the proceeds are being received by the settlor or by a third party. If it is by the settlor, typically those income or those proceeds would be treated as a capital gain. Basically, you deduct the contributions that were made by the settlor at the beginning, you compare that with the proceeds that you are taking out of the trust, and that would be subject to tax in Portugal at the 28% rate or 35% rate if it would come from a tax haven. Again, if you are under the NHR 2.0, this 28% would be falling to zero because it would be an income coming from abroad. If these proceeds are being received by as a third party, it is typically treated as a gift. And gifts in Portugal are liable to tax at the 10% rate, where the beneficiary is an individual, but only provided that this is comprised with, under the scope of the stamp duty, territorial rules. If the trust is a US one, most likely, and even if it is gifted to me, for example, because the trust or the assets of the trust are most likely not located in Portugal, I wouldn't be liable to stamp duty at all. So I wouldn't be taxed at all on that gift that I would be getting. In a nutshell, even though trusts are a bit strange within the Portuguese legislation, but obviously we have been having contact with trusts more and more. This is in a nutshell the kind of taxation that you would be expecting if you are a Portuguese tax resident and you are somehow involved with the trust.
Fantastic, thank you. Michael, if someone wanted to reach you to find out more about golden visa opportunities, what's the best way to find you?
Reach out directly. I've always experienced such a warm welcome in Portugal, and people looking at the jurisdiction, I'm happy to make sure they get the same level of experience. Email, it's available on my website, through LinkedIn. I'm generally very, very responsive. Looking forward to engaging with a few more people.
Michael Maxwell on LinkedIn. And what's your website? What's your URL again?
It's portugalpanorama.com. So email address is michael@portugalpanorama.com.
Fantastic. And Nuno, what's the best way to find you?
Look, I think that, again, the email is an option, which is nuno.santos@cmsportugal.com. I think it's probably the best way. And then, obviously, you engaging, we can talk via WhatsApp or phone. It's fine. All of them work.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.